Larry?
Hi, Adam. How you doing?
Although mine was, yes. Larry?
What up, Larry?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. 1972, Wilson High School, Long Beach. Counselor tells me I only met her once for 3 minutes, and I said I want to go on to law school. And she looked at me, and she was real cute, maybe 24 years old, and she goes, you know what? I'd lower your sights. And I was devastated walking out of her office. I'm thinking, oh, my God. Kind of my dream.
I know.
Please tell me you're a lawyer.
Now all the hot chicks at school are nailing their students. It was a different time.
The teachers,
they were breaking our dreams. Now they're breaking hymens.
Right.
Oh, I got a whole other story about that, but that's another subject.
But you remember the hot teacher that we saw with Matt Lauer? Did anybody notice how he was so hitting on her? She's the same chick Las Bass, who's gay, lost his virginity to.
Wow.
What?
She's got range.
That chick's got range.
Well, Larry,
Write
did you
that
become
down.
a lawyer?
No, he's not a lawyer.
No, I didn't. Thank God.
Oh.
Why? What do you do now?
I buy and sell businesses. I make a lot more than a lawyer.
Oh, good.
All right,
good.
buddy.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
All right. So
Same
listen.
here.
Yeah, I have.
I've had a few. Just where you know it's over, you know everything you hoped and dreamed for your whole life. Especially, not to make mine, like, it's so important because it happened to me.
Yeah.
But I had it once and let it go. You know, so there was that extra, I know what it's like winning the lottery and spending all the money in an afternoon in drunk binge. I'm going, oh, my God.
Well, it's like you spent it over the course of 3 weeks
in
or
a drunk
something.
binge, yeah.
In a drunk
really
binge.
pretty close to that.
I wanted to be, I had no idea what to do other than something in comedy when I was somewhere in my mid-20s. And I didn't know how to read or write very well, and there wasn't a whole bunch of cable, this and that. It wasn't like, hey, there's Comedy Central and people, you just go pitch your wacky game show format over there, and they'll find a home for it. There was like, you know, there was cable, but not really. And this is, well, we're talking about 1988, 1989. So it was like, well, look, you're not sitcom material, and you're not a very good writer, so I guess stand-up is all that's left for you. That's what you did. If you thought you had a good sense of humor, then you just went and tried your hand at stand-up. And I tried my hand at stand-up out here in Los Angeles, but this is kind of busy for stand-up.
Yeah, no, I don't play a lot.
You have to go wait in line if you want to do stand-up. It's demoralizing. You can do open mics.
Right.
And what you can do is you can go down to the comedy, go down to the Improv or Laugh Factory or whatever, and then just go stand in line on a Sunday night, and then you perform in front of 18 other comics
and the friends that they had to bring. You have a minimum friends you have to bring so that the club can make some money.
Yeah.
Like, you can play open mic night, usually, I don't know about the Laugh Factory, but usually you have to bring 5 friends, and they have to drink.
Yes, some shows are called bringers.
Right.
You have to bring a number of people.
Right.
Yeah, and this one, like, you'd go down to the Improv, and the world's most bitter ex-comic would always run that night. I mean, this guy was mad at the world, I'm sure, as a comedian. Now, to us, he was a deity because he was running open mic night. To any working comedian, he was a pariah and a joke. This guy spending Sunday night working with the screwball comics, the Special Olympics of comedy. So he took it out on everybody, and this guy would get up there and he'd be like, look, you have 3 minutes. At about 2:45, you start wrapping up your act. Now, when I hit you with the flashlight, you tell your last joke and you get off stage. If you don't tell your last joke, if you go into a long-winded story, if you tell 2 jokes, I will shut the power off and you will be speaking in a dark room with no microphone. Do you understand? Like, that's the kind of thing.
Right.
And then one of these weird things, too, which is, I always felt weird, even then, even when I knew nothing about stand-up, he'd add in a little of his own philosophy, you know, and tell jokes. No one wants to hear your stories. You know, it's like that kind of thing.
Okay, then I'm ruined.
Right.
My whole act is ruined now.
So I said, well, all right, so what you would do is you'd go wait in line, you'd stand up, whatever, and there'd be 35 guys there, but they're only taking 19 guys, and half the time you'd just go home, and the other half, you'd be number 16, and you'd have to walk around the neighborhood for 3 hours because they didn't have enough money to go buy anything to eat or to sit and drink in the club and just hang out. And then your friends would be like, hey, can we come see you? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to be on between 5:30 and 10. tonight. Like, you'd have no idea.
So spend
because
4.5 hours of your time hoping to see 6 minutes of me.
Pauly Shore could walk in with a notebook and do 20 minutes of Weezer comedy. and yes, he could be testing out. And if he stepped in front of you, then he got as much time as he wanted. And he chose open mic night as the night he wanted to test out more of Louise comedy in front of an audience that was apathetic and didn't care and wouldn't judge. So I decided at a certain point, I'm living in North Hollywood. I have my stripper girlfriend, Lindsay.
All right, I love Lindsay. I'm going to be a big fan of Lindsay.
She was hot, yeah. I have my, we're living in a one-bedroom apartment in North Hollywood on Carpenter Street, right across the street from the old high school I used to go to. It was kind of, prophetic, or I don't know what you'd call it, but it was directly across the high school. It was directly across the street from the football field.
And that's a star.
Basically where I had my last Good Friday night was on that field.
On a Good Friday night.
Yeah. But it had been...
for Jesus, it was a Good Friday. For Adam, it was a great Friday.
It had been 10 years at this point since I had a Good Friday, and I used to just take walks and just look at that field at night. And
Did you see the Friday night lights from your window?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't have a window that faced the neighbor's house.
Friday nights? Is that your night?
I was watching Hots. Point is, we'll get into that one day. Point is I used to walk down the train tracks and watch them play football. So I decided, well, you know what I need? I need a change of venue. I need to leave town. I need to go somewhere where I could work every night doing comedy and hone my act, because this open mic thing twice a month, waiting in line, it's not cutting it. I got to get stage time. So I announced I'm packing up my Nissan pickup with the vinyl bed seat, no headrest, and no air, and no nothing, and I'm going to San Francisco, and I'm going to start anew.
I hope it doesn't make you feel bad.
Oh, no.
But in AA, that's called pulling a geographic.
Yes.
Because your life sucks here. Of course, it will be better there.
Yeah, as if it would. And there's a part of me that knew it wouldn't. Yeah. But I had a buddy named Zeb.
Sure he did. Everybody's got a Zeb.
And he lived in a crappy house in Oakland with like 4 people, but one of them was out of town in Europe for like a month or something. He said, I got an open bedroom. You can come here. Obviously, pay me $100 or whatever it is, because he didn't have any money either. And you can go here. And my grandmother knew somebody, and this is the only time there's ever been any nepotism in the Carolla family. She knew somebody that owned a comedy club in like Gilroy or someplace.
No. The garlic capital?
Someplace. Oh, I don't know if it's Gilroy, but it was 80 miles out of San Francisco. It was across a 300-mile bridge, and then somewhere, and it was called Rooster T. Feathers.
Ah, yeah, I know it.
You do know it?
Yeah, it's a big comedy club.
Okay, so that's how you do the garlic capital of the world? Because I was really impressed.
I don't think it's in Gilroy, but it's an emotionally it is Gilroy.
It is one of the neighboring communities.
Sunnyvale, California.
Sunnyvale, there you go, 408.
Far away.
Yep. Yeah.
It's far. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to San Francisco. I am going to audition for my grandmother's, and not close friend, but somehow my grandmother knew some old queen who ran that comedy club, and maybe even picked up the phone or something and said, my grandson's coming out there. Why don't you give him a look? So I came out on a Monday, and on Friday, I was going to do my thing. And then what I was going to do is I was going to impress this person, and they'd give me a spot. And then 3 times a week, I'd be up there doing my act and be like Tom Hanks. And
Punchline.
And Punchline, and it was going to be awesome. So I nervously got into so I packed up all my stuff, and I told my girlfriend, I don't know what the hell, she probably didn't care if I left at this point. I said, look, I got enough money saved up for about a month. I will, I'll call every day. I'm going over there. I'm going to try to set up some roots here, get something going. She was from England. She didn't care where she was. She was working as a temp or something at that point. I said, we're living in a crappy part. I said, let me get things established over here, and then you come out.
Right.
It's going to be great.
You're going to set up a beachhead at Rooster T. Feathers.
That's right.
The Maginot Line.
So I went, all week I was preparing my material and pacing and thinking about the future. And then about 6, 7 o'clock at night, I jumped in my crappy Nissan pickup and started driving towards Sunnyvale. Got over to Rooster T. Feathers. It was like, it wasn't a big night. She wasn't giving me, wasn't doing a Saturday night, prime time spot. But it was a big club, and there was 80 people in there, and they had the whatever. They brought me up. I did about 8 minutes of semi-crappy, uneventful, unimaginative, jokey comedy, 2 mixed reviews, and a smattering of applause, and she sort of gave me the okay, thanks, but no thanks speech as I was leaving the club. And then as I was driving home over some, bridge that spanned the globe, it was at night, it was raining, and I realized, all right, I just crapped that one up. She doesn't want me back. That felt like crap up there. I was nervous. It sucked. What the hell am I doing here? I only came out here really to do this one thing, and I just kind of put my foot in my ass, and I really started thinking I should just drive off of this bridge.
Right.
Seemed like a good idea.
Although, had you been able to put your foot in your ass during your comedy act, I'll bet you got more than a smattering.
Carrot Top does it.
That would have gotten a laugh. Yeah. And, the thing about, killing myself was, I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to live either.
Right.
I've been there 100 times.
I was sort of indifferent about my life at that point, and I thought, wow, so what do I do now? Pack my crap up, drive back to North Hollywood, and then what? See if I can get on to another construction crew or start doing open mics again in North Hollywood. It was like I'd never been more dejected in a 70-mile drive in my life. And, here's somebody who says I crushed their dreams.
I know. I've been dying to hear what he has to say.
Eric?
Yes.
How did I crush your dreams?
Adam, I was a middle school teacher who brought in a couple students to the Love Line show back in 2002.
I don't remember that. I know it sounded like I did.
Yeah, you zigged when I thought you would zag.
Yeah.
So, Eric, what was your dream?
Well, and so here I am bringing in middle school students, and Adam talks about the fact that we talk about Love Line in the classroom for the last 5 minutes of the day. Adam thought that was too much to be talking about Love Line with middle school students, and so he says my days in education were numbered, and now I am an assistant principal. So
wow.
So Adam actually did you a favor.
Yeah.
Huh.
Look, I was trying to light a fire under you. I was looking at a middle school teacher, but I felt an assistant principal when we shook hands, and I realized that if you became complacent, you ever hear that song, A Boy Named Sue?
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
It was the exact same thing.
If it wasn't for Adam Carolla, you would have never been in the mud and the blood and the beer.
Here's the thing.
That's
Adam
right.
is like
That's
the coach that when he believes in the player, he pushes you.
Mm-hmm.
No, with years of
Or he's an
therapy,
ass. One of those two.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes. So now you're assistant principal at the same school?
Yep, I have a picture of you on my wall. And
No, you don't.
Yeah, and for homeroom, he shows porn.
Who here knows what snuff film is? Johnny? Nope, that's defecation. That's defecation. Yeah. But we'll be getting into that. Hold your thought.
Yeah.
Nope, that's stump porn. Yeah. Well, no. All good stuff, people. All good stuff. All stuff we're going to get to.
But Principal Eric, what is gonzo porn?
Okay. Who wants to...
Do you really not know?
Where's the school field trip, Eric?
I'll bring them on. How many students can I
Doc
bring?
Johnson.
I was thinking the pleasure chest.
That'll happen.
All right, Eric. Well, look, I hardly call that crushing one's dreams. Look at you now.
Well,
You're commanding a $51,000 a year salary. You have the respect of a bunch of 9-year-olds. I mean, what a gig.
It's actually high school. I moved up.
All right, buddy. What high school? Can you tell me?
I'll say it's in Los Angeles.
Which is it in the Valley?
No.
So basically, it's a bunch of disgruntled teenagers shooting at you.
Yeah, pretty
what?
much.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, East LA.
All right, Eric. Well, thank you, and thank you for staying with me all these years.
Thanks, Sam.
I appreciate
I'll call you in a couple of years. Let you know where I'm at.
Yeah,
All right.
when you're president of the United States,
Hopefully
and it's all because of Adam.
Hopefully he's at a place where they don't end sentences with prepositions.
Did you notice that too? Oh, my God.